Coming up on Mountain News this morning, threats of possible violence forced organizers of an upcoming drag show in our region to cancel the performance. And a giant in the fast food world celebrates Kentucky farmers and the fresh produce they provide to its restaurant locations in the state.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Well, good morning again at 6 o'clock on your Thursday. Just one more day until it's Friday. I'm Dakota Makris. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at that forecast this morning. And Brandon, really nothing to talk about this morning, which I guess is a good thing other than some warmer temps this morning.
Yes, fairly good thing about the temperatures today is they're going to go in the right direction after a couple of cooler days. Yesterday was pretty nice though too. It ended up being in the mid-50s. And today I think will be another nice day, but rain chances are back in play tonight and tomorrow going into Saturday. Let's take a look and see what's going on this morning. Pine Mountain, US 119, Whitesburg Mountain, not too much traffic up there this morning, no major issues. Some winds already cranking. They're coming out of the south and southwest this morning, so we're already seeing 22-mile-an-hour gusts in Wise and 15 in Irvin. Not too bad just yet, but we're seeing consistent wind speeds of 10 miles per hour or better in some spots. For the next few hours, we're going to see those temperatures soar. Even with the cloud cover this morning, it's going to get into the mid to upper 70s this afternoon with hopefully some late day sunshine. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. There's a big financial mess at Kentucky State University that's based on the findings of a special examination. Auditor Mike Harmon released the results Wednesday. Our Phil Pendleton has more about what happened and what's being done to fix the problems.
The audit took a look at finances over 3 years from 2018 to 2021.
But certainly it is a tone at the top that we have to make sure we adjust. And once again, so thankful that KSU leadership is here today.
That's interim president Dr. Ronald Johnson, who stood beside Harmon as he detailed more than 20 findings, including poor record keeping, questionable spending, and improper accounting of millions in federal funds that might have to be paid back.
As a fiduciary, it is the sole responsibility of that individual to make sure that other people's monies are protected.
Part of this audit details how former university officials, including the former president, received some things they really should not have, including bonuses and benefits. Harmon says Kentucky's Constitution does not allow spending of public money on bonuses.
Finding 10 also details how KSU paid more than $138,000 in bonuses to select administrators in fiscal year 2020 and 2021.
The audit comes a year after Kentucky lawmakers passed a bill to earmark $23 million to bail out the university. Johnson says they need to restore students and donors' trust.
To assure them that what we are doing is in line with standard practice, and that we have, and even in advance of these findings, began to make a considerable amount of change.
Harmon says the findings are also being sent to the Kentucky Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office. Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The auditor is recommending the university board and new president make numerous changes and how state lawmakers may need to pass more laws as well. A former McCreary County superintendent is set to appear in court today. John Gunn was arrested last month for bringing a gun to the McCreary County Board of Education building. He is charged with possession of a weapon on school grounds. The board accepted Gunn's resignation one day before his arrest. He pleaded not guilty earlier this month. Gunn's preliminary hearing is set at 9 o'clock this morning. A Tennessee man is facing a list of charges after Kentucky State Police say he led them on a multi-county chase in southern Kentucky. Troopers say they were called to an armed robbery and theft in Somerset around 10:30 Wednesday morning. They say 32-year-old Matthew Cole stole a black Kia Soul. They later found him on the parkway and tried to pull him over, but they say he just kept driving. The chase went faster than 100 miles per hour at times. Troopers eventually stopped Cole with spike strips. He was taken to the Adair County Jail. He faces several charges, including wanton endangerment and robbery. Two cars crashed into each other Wednesday morning, causing injuries to two children. Monticello police said 28-year-old Sarah Stringer was driving a 2002 Ford Expedition and tried to pull onto South Main Street from Cardinal Lane while a bus was turning into Cardinal Lane. At the same time, a 2005 Pontiac driven by 63-year-old Rebecca Bell was driving toward the Kentucky 90 bypass in the left lane. Their cars T-boned. 2 children were taken to Wayne County Hospital. An Eastern Kentucky doctor accused of writing improper drug prescriptions was awarded $14 million in a case where he argued pharmacy companies wrongly assigned drug orders to him. A Perry County jury ruled in favor of James Dustin Cheney in his lawsuit against CVS and Rite Aid of Kentucky. Within the lawsuit, jurors found the companies knowingly or recklessly reported Cheney wrote these prescriptions when he actually did not. Jurors ruled this made it look like he had written countless prescriptions for opioid painkillers. He was charged in 2014 with prescribing drugs illegally and ultimately sentenced to 30 months in federal prison. After threats were made, a local drag show in Prestonsburg aimed at advocating for self-love and mental health was canceled. Our Jordan Mullins has more reaction from the organizers of the event.
Open Doors Counseling Center was scheduled to host a Come As You Are drag event on Saturday in Prestonsburg, advocating for self-love and mental health in the LGBTQ community.
Talk about self-love and self-acceptance and share with people in the audience resources for being able to feel more accepted and to feel like they can accept themselves.
But the event was canceled following threats online, some claiming to bring weapons and protest the event.
You know, they're going to come armed. They're going to bring loaded weapons to our event. And as the seriousness of the threats started to escalate, we decided it was best for everyone involved if we canceled the show.
But these threats are nothing new. In Pikeville, events hosted by Pikeville Pride and Big Sandy Safe Zone are said to also receive similar threats.
And unfortunately, threats to our community are nothing new. This is something we deal with pretty consistently. I've been volunteering with Pikeville Pride for a couple of years now. We always, anytime we do any sort of event, we receive threats, we receive a lot of hate online.
But those in the LGBTQ community are choosing to persevere.
The comments and the hate will always be there, but it's how we deal with it and how we push forward and move forward.
And choosing to spread self-love, self-care, and self-acceptance. Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Open Doors Counseling Center owner Kyle Mays says the drag event will possibly be rescheduled, but the organization does not have a time, date, or place just yet. Governor Andy Beshear signed 2 bills into law, and he says they will support workforce development in Kentucky. Senate Bill 57 helps out military families who can't find child care on base, and House Bill 200 focuses on the nursing shortage. The governor says it creates programs to improve scholarships for high-need healthcare areas.
To continue this economic momentum, we have to do everything we can to support our workforce, to find new strategies, and to continue to fill these growing number of great jobs.
Well, there were almost 44,000 new jobs created in Kentucky last year, along with the lowest yearly unemployment rate in state history. Well, the city of Richmond is being awarded more than $5.5 million. The governor announced that yesterday. Nearly $300,000 is going to the Richmond tourism. More than $600,000 is going to nonprofits, and more than $4.6 million is being allocated to utilities to update the city's sewer system and expand service. McDonald's of Kentucky is celebrating the Kentucky products it buys as part of its commitment to food quality. At an event in Frankfort on Wednesday, the State Commissioner of Agriculture, Ryan Quarles, and Representative Richard Heath joined local suppliers to talk about the relationship between McDonald's and Kentucky farmers. And suppliers supports agricultural business across the state and provides quality ingredients for the fast food chain to serve customers.
Well, every year we try to connect our Kentucky farmers with Kentucky restaurants, and McDonald's has really been a leader because they source so much volume from our farms. Whenever we can have Kentucky proud items grown by Kentucky farmers and then served by Kentucky restaurants, that strengthens agriculture across our state.
Well, the commissioner also signed a proclamation honoring everyone who contributes to Kentucky's agriculture community.
6:09 coming up on 6:10, and we are tracking some warm temperatures out there this morning. They've been going up since midnight, and we're seeing less and less 40s and more 50s and 60s. The warm spot right now, Irvin at 64, but you've got Pikeville and Prestonsburg at 60, 61 in Somerset, 62 in Monticello, but a lot of mid to upper 50s. 240s out there, Clintwood at 49, Jonesville at 48. Planner for today, we're going to head up into the mid to upper 70s. Sunshine this afternoon. It's going to be breezy. We could see winds gusting up to 25 miles per better at times. We're going to continue to see those winds come out of the southwest, so it's a warm wind, but in the next 48 hours, we could see some potential for some stronger storms. Part of the area back out toward Lake Cumberland under a level 2 out of 5 severe risk. We're keeping a close eye on that, and we will keep you posted here in the next few minutes. Dakota?
All right, Brennan, thank you so much. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, our nation continues to wait and see if former President Donald Trump will be facing charges for an alleged hush money scandal. Stay with us. We'll be right back.